Hey, I'm Matt Hudgens and he's Dave Mulvaney and this is Profitability MD. Dave, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing great, Matt. How are you?
Life's pretty good. Hanging in there. Keeps growing almost to be Labor Day. Can't believe that.
I can't believe it either.
We've
So
been,
much
we,
fun this year that the
Time
year,
flies.
yeah,
Time flies when you're having fun, locked up in COVID. What can I say?
we haven't really been locked
On
up.
episode 89, 3 strategies to explode your profits. So 3 strategies to explode your profits. The idea being here's a couple ideas that might help you and take you to the next level, right? Simple, easy to use, don't cost anything, you or the business. Simple little strategies to roll in. So I'll outline the top 3 strategies and then we'll bounce ideas and I'll give you the examples or stuff. So we're going to talk about a trade-in strategy, free delivery, like a little twist on that, and a discount card. Okay.
Yeah.
So the little twist. So that's number one. Number one, we're talking about a trade-in strategy. How can you use a trade-in strategy to generate more sales, right? And so I think we're familiar with right now, like the iPhone. You know, iPhone, you trade in your iPhone, you get another one, right? That's a way to keep us buying iPhones, right? If you go buy a Samsung phone, you won't get the trade-in value from your iPhone or vice versa. You know, you got your Samsung and you go switch. So they won't let you cross-pollinate. So that's a good way to kind of keep clients retention, right? Keep them buying. But here's 2 twists on that I was thinking of. One of which was instead of offering, it's Labor Day weekend. So your Labor Day weekend sale, it can be a trade-in sale, right? But you can say, we're going to give the trade-in to charity. I don't know what it is. Let's say you sell suits. We're going to trade in old suits and I'm going to give those to charity. Let's say I don't know. What else, what are some other upgrade stuff?
Well, I mean, here's a trade-in strategy. Well, Labor Day, you brought up Labor Day, but well, we'll talk about that next. But trade-in strategy, like how often do car dealers say,
they're the prime example, right?
we'll pay you top dollar for your trade?
Yes.
And
They're the main ones that do this. Yeah. I was trying to spin off of the car dealers because the car dealers didn't make money on your used car anyway. Usually they make more money on your used cars than they do the new cars. Most of their money, as you and I have talked about, who we interviewed about a year ago, the service contract.
service, yeah, it's in service. They do make more on used cars than they do on new cars, but that's why they want your trade. That's why more and more dealers are like advertising, we'll buy your car even if you don't buy a car from us. But I think you've heard it in the computer industry where, hey, if you've want to upgrade your computer, hurry. So they use it as like hurry because the older your computer gets, the less it's worth. And so that's a trade-in strategy. There's multiple trade-in strategies.
Books, a trade-in strategy. And the idea though is that this stimulates the sale. So instead of giving like a 10% off coupon or a $10 coupon, you could tie it to a charity cause. Like I was saying, whatever comes in, we're going to give the old computers to the charity, right? A lot of the churches have those little consignment shops, right? Yeah. We did a trade-in. There was a shoe store that we did a deal. My girls did a deal where trade in your old shoes and they were giving the shoes to some, Africa thing. So, instead of them offering a discount on your shoes, you bring in your shoes, you get a trade-in for 10% off, and we're going to send all those shoes to, a church in Africa. Right.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah, that was a good one. They did that. I think it was 2 years ago. And so then you're kind of getting a good community vibe, right? You're giving a sale, 10% off. I think it was 10, might've been 15, but you're also getting a good community feedback because it's a charity. We're going to give all this in charity. And then, by the way, check with your CPA, right? But you would get a charity deduction for giving shoes to the church overseas.
Yeah. It's funny, Matt, the trade-in strategy, and I said books because that's what came to mind. I can't think of the place at the airport, but there was always the bookstore in the airport. And if you buy the book, you can trade it in at any of our stores in any airport. So if you're a regular traveler, that was a way for them to get you to buy the next book. They would.
Yes, exactly right.
It was like a 25%. You can always trade it in and
yes, I do remember that. Yes.
I don't remember how it worked.
Perfect. Generating more sales because you read the book during your travels and now you drop it off at the airport and get some sort of money back when you buy your next book.
I'm not sure how they did it, but that's a good example of a trade-in strategy that worked because they knew they were dealing with travelers.
Right. More frequency of purchases as well as positive word of mouth. And like I said, if you combine it with the charity, that's a great way to combine it.
And sometimes the deduction could be more than than what your profit would have been.
Yeah, exactly right. And it doesn't have to be related, right? You could have like, you're a suit guy and you're taking in tennis shoes, right? Come buy a new suit, trade in the old tennis shoes and we're sending so it doesn't have to be exactly a 1-for-1. It can be unrelated, right? But anyway, that was a neat, different twist on the trade-in, playing off of the car dealerships. Number 2, free delivery. And this was kind of neat. So free delivery, kind of build that in your purchase price, a way to differentiate yourself. And, one of the ways that I used to see around here all the time was the dry cleaner, come pick up your dry cleaning, right? And how much that convenience factor that you're willing to pay that extra, whatever, $5 a week to have the dry cleaner guy to come pick up and drop off your dry cleaning, right?
The most expensive dry cleaner in all of Jacksonville is located in Ponte Vedra Beach, and they have free delivery. And they're the most expensive dry cleaner on the planet. Like
right.
A shirt is like $6.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy, but I mean,
but for convenience, people are willing to say that. So you can combine that free delivery with other strategies, while we're in the neighborhood, we'll discount your first 3 shirts for free because I'm already in the neighborhood. Right.
Well, right now we're doing 25% off your first bag of dog food and free shipping up until Labor Day. So
there you go.
We're using the free shipping as the thing to put them over the top. We've got a big discount if it's your first purchase, but you got the free shipping also.
Right. So, well, and now here's the other twist. This was a great one. We did this. This is probably 2 years ago as well. Orthodontist, right? So think of this. So this is orthodontist. And I guess you could do this. He was doing I had a guy, orthodontist and a limo driver. Most limos are rented off at night, right? So he combined it with, the orthodontist hired the limo company to go pick up the kids, to take the kids from school to the orthodontist. Right. And so that was kind of a win-win for the limo guy, because typically he does like the nighttime stuff or drives to the airport. That was kind of his main business, nighttime entertainment or drive to the airport. So they worked out a deal where it was basically costing him, the dentist, the orthodontist, $20 an hour, $20 an hour for the guy because it was in, the school was nearby. I don't know.
Yeah, it was probably pretty close.
Yeah, really close because it was geographically close. And then how cool is that when your kid gets picked up in the limo to go to the orthodontist? Talk about word of mouth, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so what ended up happening is that cost them some extra money, right? It cost them extra money to hire that limo service. So the numbers were like, that cost them about an extra $45,000 in expenses, of travel and pickup. So free delivery, but it cost them money to pay but it was like 330,000 in revenue.
That's worth it.
That? That's totally worth it. And that's just, a twist on, Uber Eats free delivery. I got the limo going to the school. Now you get the other kids talking about it. Hey mom, I want to go to that orthodontist. That guy picks you up in a limo. Then you can pick 2 or 3 up at the same time, right? Again, while you're in the neighborhood strategy, right?
And more, what's funny is, okay, you have the Uber Eats and you have all these, there's other apps now that deliver food, and I can't think of the names of them right now. But, when a lot of these restaurants don't consider, like when I was a kid, everybody worked for a restaurant and delivered food.
Yes.
We grew up in Wisconsin. That's how it was. They pay you, pretty much, back then it was probably, $4.35, $5 an hour. Aging myself, but it was, and then like some people give you tips, some wouldn't, but you're driving a vehicle and that's how it was done.
Yeah.
Well, what a lot of restaurants today, if, you're trying to make every dime and you're trying to keep your employees busy, let them deliver.
Well, you're exactly right. That literally happened to one of my friend's son this summer. So apparently like Grubhub and Uber Eats takes a percentage of your restaurant, how much you charge, right? And usually you're losing money when you're using Uber Eats when you're a restaurant. But exactly like I said, you've got these employees that you're paying a flat rate. And if you can put them on delivery, you can offer free delivery instead of Grubhub. We've got our own delivery. We're not using the other, whoever Uber Eats. We got our own delivery guy. And that delivery person is already on an hourly rate and probably got to pay him some miles. And so one of my friend's son did that this summer for a local restaurant. And that's exactly he had figured out was, gosh, it's cheaper for me to hire a kid to do the driving as opposed to me to partake in Grubhub.
Yeah, and because they get, like you said, they get a percentage. We got Thai food this past, and if you wanted it delivered, they added to the bill. Right. I was like, that I don't want to pay extra. I mean, so I picked it up. And so, but that's the choice that they have when they use Grubhub if they don't want it eating into their profit. So having somebody on staff to make that delivery, that free delivery can make you money.
Again, this is another one that you can combine with while we're in the neighborhood. And we've talked about that for landscapers and plumbers and people in the neighborhood, work in the neighborhood. While we're in the neighborhood, right? Because we deliver to this neighborhood, right? We'll do your delivery for a discount, 10% off because we're already in the neighborhood, right? Just like we talk about landscaping, because I'm doing your neighbor's yard, I can do your yard because we're all together. So you can combine this strategy with some other strategies.
Sure.
All right. And the last one I want to talk about today is, discount cards. But instead of like a straight out discount, it's like the loyalty cards, right? So, buy 10, get one free, buy 7, get $25 off, right? Even talking about that booklet of buy 10, get one free, there was this, anyway, give them the first 1 or 2 for free, right? So it's like, hey, they buy your, whatever, doing your nails, doing massage.
Oil change, if
oil change. And give them the first 2. There's a study that's talking about if you give them the first 2 as a bonus, right? So they bought the oil change. Instead of giving them 1 click, you give them 2 clicks. That increases the chances of 70% that they're going to finish out the run, right? Because you gave them kind of a little free head start, right? They got 2 out of the 10 already done.
And a lot of times you don't see a lot of that anymore. You used to see it all the time. Okay, you get you buy 4 oil changes from us. We'll give you the 5th one, or you buy 3 tires from us at our normal price, you get the 4th free. That's or we'll give you a better spare. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that
it's huge. We're talking about, restaurants used to do this and they don't do it enough, in my opinion. The birthday, right? You get a free bottle of wine on your birthday. Well, what are you going to do? Then you're going to order a really nice meal. You get free dessert. So free meal. You have your meal is free, and then the rest of the people that you bring are paying, right? So it's like you're giving away 1 entree to get 4 more. And probably
Cooper's Hawk does that very thing. We just went into Cooper's Hawk last weekend, and sure enough, my wife's birthday had gone by, and they said, hey, we noticed you haven't been able to come in since your birthday, so you can get a free bottle of wine or a free dessert, whichever you want, because we're in their membership club. And so they gave us the choice, which was great, but they remembered it was in their computer, and that's the loyalty. Look, prior to COVID, I thought from a business model, I bring up Cooper's Hawk because you may not be familiar with them. They're a wine membership. So you buy 1 bottle of wine. If you're on their membership, you buy 1 bottle of wine, but and so the idea is to get you in there once a month. At least once, and you have that bottle. Well, if you notice, Panera Bread has a coffee club. I don't know if you know that or not. It's like
they have a bagel club. I know they have a bagel club. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get unlimited amounts of coffee the entire month. I think McDonald's is doing that now. Customer loyalty clubs prior to COVID were starting to become a thing. Now I think they're absolutely essential. If you want to explode your profits, you got to have clients who are on your list.
Yes, you got to differentiate. So we were talking about, here's 2 other examples. We're talking about, so Lexus, I have a Lexus. When I take my car for servicing, they give me a free car wash, right? It's a nice car wash, a little light detail, not the things you'd spend, but it's, I'd have to go do it myself or go to the car wash for $10, or that's included when I get my oil change at Lexus. That's a great freebie. We talked about, this was a good one. So like a hairdresser, right? And, hairdresser, and then you do the loyalty cards, right? 5 hair, your next one's $25 off or 50% off or whatever it is. But then you combine that. Here's another strategy we haven't talked about before, the Fishbowl Strategy. Have you ever seen those things where you put your card in?
Put your card in the fishbowl.
Yeah. Well, this is a twist on that. You put in a bunch of torn up sheets and say, hey, here's our Fishbowl Strategy, and put your hand in there and you get a drawing of 5 to 15% off of some select VIP items, right? Except everything in there is 15% off, right? So you reach in here. So I got my frequently loyalty club, and here's, as doing your 5th haircut, now you get your 6th one free. You're in here for your 6th haircut or whatever it is. Hey, now because you did that, you're now eligible for our Fishbowl entry. The Fishbowl, you get a 5 to 15% off but everything in there is 15% off. So you reach in and grab it, and I go, wow, Dave, you won 15%. That's our maximum value. That's really awesome. And then you have a list of a VIP, and these are your higher profit margin lists. So by the time you're giving them the 15% discount off this extra service, it's like an upsell or a cross sell, right? That this VIP list is a select, it's, hair dye where there's a high margin or whatever, some other hair. I don't know much about hair, but you know what I'm saying, where there's a product that you have a high built-in profit margin. So giving them a 15% discount on it, you still make money on the deal.
Yeah. That hair care product is big profit in a hair salon.
But they love you for it. So it's like combining the frequent flyer, once you do your frequent loyalty card, then you qualify for the Fishbowl, and then it's 5 to 15% off. And oh my gosh, you won the max, Dave. That's awesome. Here's the select VIP list.
I think the key though, is not to go, if anybody can get it, then it's not a deal. And
That's right.
Here's what I mean by that is Delta's Sky Club, for instance. Well, the Sky Club after many years got so crowded that it was like, well, I'm not any better than anyone else. And
Right.
The place is so crowded, you can barely get in there. So people started to talk bad about the Sky Club. And it was a pretty good perk. It was an American Express Platinum perk. But at the same time, everybody was in there. And then so it wasn't a big perk anymore. So if you're going to use a loyalty club or something, make it somewhat exclusive where it's really beneficial to you as a company, but it's also kind of exclusive so somebody feels special about themselves. That's the goal, is you want them.
All these things, the goals, right? You're differentiating your business by extra service, by extra love and attention, right? I was thinking about like for the dog food business, right? And you were talking about the gifts you can give them can be, your logoed bandana, your logoed dog collar, right?
Yeah, bowls, and all the things.
Yeah, bowls, but they say your logo on it, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm giving you this, but it's also a marketing. Oh, that's really nice. Where'd you get that? Oh, we've got this great dog food that we're buying, right? So that's kind of a frequent flyer plus a little bonus gift. But when you combine these things, trade-in strategy, free delivery, discount card, this wasn't just the straight, we're talking about just a minor modification on each one of those though. But I think the minor modification is the important part, because we've talked about in the past how discounts kill you, right? Yeah. But the discounts on the loyalty card, that doesn't kill you because it's a frequency. They're getting more frequent purchases, right?
Especially on an upsell. A discount on an upsell is always, the upsell is, okay, I've already got your money here.
Yes.
You've already put your credit card in the form.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get a little more. Yeah. Straight profit.
The free delivery. Talk about the orthodontist pick you up in a limo, right? Talk about differentiating yourself, right? That's just not free delivery of like the Domino's pizza, right? That's upgrading yourself, right? The dry cleaner, upgrading yourself, your business by giving yourself a higher perception. And the trade-in strategy where you can combine it with a charity, giving something to charity so you look good or build good word of mouth, but it builds loyalty, it builds frequency, it builds credibility, right? So these are three strategies that you all heard of before, but they're just a little twist on it that I think it's the twist that makes the difference. That's what matters. That's skyrocket. So 3 simple strategies that could explode your profits: trade-in strategy, free delivery, discount cards. You give those a try with those twists that we mentioned in here. Again, this is the type of stuff that we talk about in our mastermind group. You and I talk about the mastermind group. We're getting together, add more people to the mastermind group. These are the type of things that we talk about. So these are things you've probably heard of before, but you've never really thought about that type of a twist on those strategies. Those strategies are just 3 simple strategies that we covered, but we've got a ton of them that we work on with the people in our mastermind group. If you want to apply to our mastermind group, send an email to matt@profitabilitymd.com, at dave@profitabilitymd.com. We'll do a little interview, seeing if it's a good match. Check out our podcast, obviously Profitability MD, anywhere you get your podcasts. We've got our YouTube channel, Profitability MD, and we've got our website, profitabilitymd.com, where you can find all this info. But that's the kind of stuff we do in the group, where we're taking the strategies, we're putting a little twist on them, but it's that little twist that makes a huge impact and doesn't cost you any money. None of these strategies are significant. Maybe you got some printing costs for your discount card, right? None of these things cost you any money, but it's that twist. It's that twist that matters, that leads to a huge the orthodontist guy. I mean, think about that. I think that's the coolest thing ever.
I do. I have a question though on the same lines. Okay, you had a hole-in-one last week, right?
Yeah.
So did you get a plaque or anything from the golf course?
No, I got nothing from the golf
See?
course.
They're missing their opportunity. You had a hole-in-one.
But somebody else built upon that. That's a great point. At the restaurant where we had dinner, they gave me a little gift. They heard us, the wait staff heard us talking about it because they were all giving me a hard time about the hole-in-one and buying the drinks and all that stuff. So the wait staff at this restaurant gave me a little gift. So now I have a positive word of mouth for the restaurant, right? And they're not even at the golf course. They were just
too bad the golf course left that on the table, and that's the point. Is you got to think of your customer, and your customer had a hole-in-one. That should be a big deal for a golf course. So that should keep people coming out. So.
All right, this was a great episode. I appreciate it, man.
All right, Matt. We'll talk soon. Find us at profitabilitymd.com.
All right, man. See you.
All right.